All right, welcome to Align Trading, going over today's SPY recap and live analysis, and then we will take a look at what to be watching into tomorrow. So first thing that I explained in the pre-market brief for Discord members today was to be watching for this 5-day moving average and if we could see the regain of it, and that is exactly what we did. You can see the blue and yellow controlled selling algorithms right here that are forming, and that inverse head and shoulder right there off of that 5-day. And then from there, right, this blue and yellow continues to work as we move higher. Now, there was also a very nice short opportunity in the morning. However, there was no continuation, as I mentioned, with the 20-day moving average below right here. If we were going to head down, you would have to see this head and shoulder forming right here, but you can see we dip into this area, and from there form that inverse head and shoulder. We are unable to continue, and then ultimately, right, you want to see us losing that 20-day moving average, continuing to close this inverse cup. Now you can also see this orange selling algo that we have right here, and we don't see much continuation. So same thing here, right? You see how there is no continuation of it down to the 20, and we instead form that inverse head and shoulder, and then regain the 5-day as well. Now here on the 1-minute chart, going over the microstructure and algorithms, we can see here in the morning, we initially have this blue and yellow controlled selling algo right there for this inverse head and shoulder as we continue up. But from here, right, we do not see that continuation. This fails to form, and we also can see breaking out of this white algorithm right there. Inverse cup and handle, another inverse cup. You can see on the way down right there, form that handle, and more of continuation within this yellow selling. From there, right, again, another head and shoulder down to this level right here, which we talked about on 30 being the level we needed to stay below, but we eventually hold this support right here at 599.58 with this very nice inverse head and shoulder, right? And you can see how we are breaking out of this blue controlled selling algo. See the yellow and blue working right there, and then same thing right on the way up as we continue within the blue and yellow. Something else that you have to notice here as well is after we close this cup back to the high of day right there, you can see that cup close. You can see how this handle is forming right there, right? There is that move. This is where the 5-day moving average was, and we initially could not regain it. Like I'm explaining here, if you want to short this, you must see the breakdown of this prior support. We close this inverse cup. There even is a short right there with this inverse cup and handle. You can see off that white algorithm. So a nice move down to the cup close. However, we cannot see that continuation and follow through below this level, right? Continuing to close the inverse cup on the way down. Several levels of support here as we continue down. Eventually, right, you would want to see that back at the low of day for the handle, which was unable to occur. And this is why we see this reversal. You can see that very nice inverse head and shoulder, as well as again another cup and handle right here at this 5-day moving average as we continue on the way up within this white algo. During this right here as well, on the 30, as I was mentioning in the pre-market brief, you have to be seeing this head and shoulder forming. Otherwise, right, you can see that inverse head and shoulder, and then the eventual regain of the 5-day, as well as breaking out of this prior resistance. Now, with what I was explaining on the 30-minute chart of the regain of the 5-day, you can also see how we have this thin structure, which I explained above this. We could start to see this squeeze attacking it, and sure enough, right, there is the move into it. But you also have to pay attention to the microstructure. If we were to form a short right here, you would be wanting to see that head and shoulder. right? Something like that forming, get a dump down to that level, like I explained with the close of the cup. From there, you could see another reversal or that continuation to low of day, like we talked about, but instead regain of the 5 day. Be ready for it as we continue with that blue and yellow. With that last push above the 5 day moving average right here, I called it a day right here and explained that if you wanted to see that continuation, right, blue and yellow is in control, there is a bit more. But again, we start to consolidate for about the rest of the afternoon, which I will show you within this chop, not much going on. After a move like this, right, you can easily call it a day. And I explained the only way to short this would be if we formed a head and shoulder back below that 5 day. You can see all of that liquidity right here. We would want to see an inverse cup to that and then continuing to dump. Now, even with this consolidation, you can see this algorithm that we have right here being the blue, right? It is still in control. We can't quite form that inverse head and shoulder to get that continuation, right? We continue rejecting this level, forming these inverse cups, right? But still not breaking below this level of support either. Again, right? Another inverse cup. There is no handle. Again, another inverse cup. This one actually does run the stops, which is that false breakdown. And you can see how we form that inverse head and shoulder. Your entry doesn't have to be right here, but you can see on the breakout of this, very nice entry for a scalp if you were patient on the support of that. And then from there, right, this blue and yellow continues to work. Another inverse head and shoulder as we remain within this pink tapering algo. So if you are looking to short this right here, you can see that inverse cup closes, but we can't break below this support, and another scalp is provided right there. You can see that cup handle. So really a straightforward day in terms of structure and the algos. You can see if there was going to be a breakdown right here, you would want to see ultimately that level lost right here. But more importantly, right, you can see this level right here, another inverse cup and handle. So if you were trying to take that at the end of the day, you can see there was a final scalp here as well if you caught it, remaining within that red algo and never dumping back down. Now it's time to go over what to be watching into tomorrow. So what you have to pay attention to is we have now regained this 5 day moving average right here. This blue and yellow, right, is continuing to work as we get this continuation. Pay attention if we do start to head back up and close this cup right here, right? You can see how that would form as we have now regained the 5 and the 20 day. But you also do have to pay attention to this green algo right here. If we do want to dump, we'll have to see us lose this 5 day moving average, right? Forming that, but we do have the liquidity. Even if there is something like this, you just have to pay attention to it, but you need to see us lose the 5 day moving average ultimately. The daily chart here, as I talked about in the previous videos, you can see we have this algo right here. It's the same one that you can see here as well. We regain this 5 and 20 day moving average, and we can see this rally back towards this previous high, and then ultimately a breakout to this upper Bollinger right here. Now, if at any point we do see a rejection, whether it is at the top of this algo right here, say that we reject and can't break above, if you're going to see downside, have to lose that 5 day moving average, and then ultimately the 20 if we were to see something like that out of nowhere. So as I was talking about on the daily chart with this algo right here, you can see here on the 30, it is this blue one that we have, and we have regained the 5 and the 20. From there, with this inverse head and shoulder that's beginning to form, right, you can see that micro one that regained the 5. So if we do see this continuing, we want to see the cup close back at this high. And if we do head down at any point with all of this liquidity that is sitting right here, watch the 5 and the 20-day moving average. It will be easy to spot, and you will see that sort of move down if this is some sort of handle that's forming right there. But this is all that I have for the video, so thank you everyone for watching, and I will see members in the morning.